So, what sparked your interest in the field of economics?
I would say it was my introduction to micro and introduction to macroeconomics class. I liked the material. It was interesting. I liked that I could learn something in the classroom that I can apply out in the real world. And the material was still mathematical enough for it to pique my interest because I came in as a math major. And math is really my favorite subject. It's my baby. And so economics was so practical that I could use in the real world, but it was still mathematical enough to not lose my interest or bore me.
What advice would you have for someone who's thinking about pursuing a degree
in economics? I would probably say do a lot of math, especially if you're hoping to go on to some type of graduate study like a master's or a PhD, just because if you have that math background, a lot of the work that you'll encounter later on will be easier. It'll just be a lot easier for you to remember stuff, for you to be able to do the graphs, do the applications. It's a lot easier. If you have an opportunity to do FET Challenge, even in high school, there's a high school FET Challenge competition, then there's the college version. It's the type of experience that really enhances your academic experience at college. And I guess do what you would do for any class, which would be study hard, go to class. I think going to class is half the work. Study hard, go to class, do your homework, read your textbooks. That really helps a lot.
Tell us about your recent experience with the FET Challenge and what was your role in the accomplishment?
FET Challenge is a competition where a number of colleges, at least at the college level, a number of colleges come together to do a presentation on the economy. And you make an analysis of where we are right now and a recommendation for where we should go going forward. I was in charge of looking at labor. So what is the unemployment rate? What are the non-farm payroll numbers? What are the current work weeks? How are salaries looking? What are weekly earnings? That type of stuff. So what I would do is the entire team would read articles. We would pull data. So that when I know the unemployment report was coming out, I would go online, look for that material, put it together, the initial graphs. Because for the presentation, you need a PowerPoint slides to go with it. And so we created graphs. I would get all that data together, put the slides together, create the slides, create the charts, and then forward it to another member who would forward it. Track data as it comes out, track reports. We would read the Wall Street Journal every day, look for interesting articles on the New York Fed website, on the Federal Reserve website, that type of thing.
Explain the process that, like say for instance, you had competitions that you had to win prior to going to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some of the stages in the competition? Explain that process for us.
Well, the first round of the competition was in November. That was the round that was held in New York. It was about 33 colleges. And it's like the preliminary round where we all get together and you give a presentation. From the preliminary round, 6 schools progressed to the semifinals in New York. And then after we progressed to the semifinals, there were 4 schools. It was Rutgers, SUNY Oneyeto, City College of New Jersey, and Pace University. We were in the finals and we competed there. We brought first in the New York district finals. And that is what allowed us to go on to Washington to compete in the national competition, where we were competing against Lafayette College, Harvard, and Northwestern.
What would you say now after competing in the FET Challenge and having this experience in economics? What would you say is your career plans in the field? Do you intend to stay in the field? What is the future for Sharissa Barrow?
I do plan on staying in the field. I hope to do development economics because I am initially from Guyana, which is a developing country, and the area interests me. From FET Challenge, we did a lot of monetary economics, and I like monetary economics. So that's also a possibility, but I'm leaning more towards development economics just because of my background, where I'm from, and just my interest. So hopefully soon I will be Dr. Barrow. Well, in 7 years. But at some point, I hope to be doing a PhD in economics. But I don't want to be an academic. I don't want to be a professor. I want to be using it in some practical form where I can come up with models and do research and have economic plans for developing countries and that kind of thing.
Thank you very much.
No problem.